Welcome back to Sendology 101. Back for another update. Last time it was on, I had pulled the engine, this guy right out here, out of the black SRT. Obviously the engine is out. I have it sitting here. I've cleaned it up. It is ready to go back together. Overall, everything looked good. I mean, I'm replacing the timing tensioner, which was, the pulley on it was wobbly. The timing idler was also not in great shape. Replacing those, so I believe it was a tooth or so out of time. I did notice there was a little bit of oil on a couple of the valve stems, so I replaced all of the valve stem seals. Been a while since I've done that. It's actually here on the channel. I have another video doing that to the engine in the green car, or at least doing the valve spring compressing and all that type of stuff. So that was kind of a blast from the past doing that. That went relatively well. The engine is actually ready to go back together. I had planned on actually having it reassembled just the other day, but unfortunately, I made the mistake, and as you know, I do make mistakes here quite often, where I decided that I was going to use, I had bought, when I was putting the green car together, just on a whim, I had bought some eBay head studs instead of ARPs. Now, at the time, I thought, I'll give them a try. I'm kind of cheap sometimes. Well, I ended up getting DCR head studs for the green car. I used those, were good. I decided, since I still had those eBay head studs sitting on the shelf and the black car was basically going to be relatively factory, I would throw those in. They have to be better than factory head bolts. I was wrong. I had the head torqued down, or was torquing it down in the third step, which is right out 85 foot-pounds. And one of the head studs, it broke. So obviously I have ARPs on the way to replace those. I pulled the head back off and it's sitting and waiting for some head studs from ARP. So don't use the eBay head studs. I did use the ARP grease when I was torquing everything down. I did what I was supposed to do. They sucked. They just sucked. So, don't use them. Anyways, waiting for the ARPs so I can button this engine back together. And like I said, everything for the most part looked pretty good. There's still cross hatching on the cylinders. Things are pretty good. So I'm gonna button it back up once the ARPs are here. And the next project that I'm actually working on is the replacement harness for this SRT. Now, what I have here is a harness from Juan Ramirez. You'll find him in the SRT4 groups. And this is his harness. He did ask whether I wanted the AC stuff, which I didn't, because this car obviously doesn't have that. And I didn't want a watt box adapter. I just didn't feel like that was needed for this car. And he built up a really excellent harness. This thing is really nice. I was so impressed with this harness that the harness out of this car, which is a kinetic harness. I actually pulled this harness the rest of the way out, and I sold it so that I could buy another one of these for this car. So that's how impressed I was with the quality of this harness. It's just he does an excellent job. The price was perfect. And I should, instead of doing this video, be finishing the install of the harness, but I decided it's been a little bit since I did an update, so that's where we're at on this. And hopefully I won't have to pull this car back apart. I'm tired of pulling this car back apart. And really the harness is the last issue that I have to deal with now that I have this amazing turbo from Turbo Bay Performance. So hopefully I can get a summer, at least a good summer, of beating the crap out of this car before I have to pull it apart again. At least that's the plan. We shall see. And that's pretty much the update. I have the valve cover for this engine at the powder coaters right now, along with its intake manifold. Both of those will be going silver, and I also have the transmission mount being powder coated. So that's where we're at. This engine will be going back together very soon. It has a new harness coming from Juan Ramirez. This harness from Juan is excellent. It is beautiful. I am going to finish up the install in a couple of days or so. I really don't have time tonight to finish it all the way. Then again, we shall see. But that's where we're at there. He does also fuel pump wiring kits. He sent one along with this harness, but this car has already been done, so I didn't utilize it. I may use it for when I get another one or something. It's a really nice kit. The price is excellent. It looks as good, if not better, than the kinetic kit that I have on this car that I installed for a fuel pump rewire. He just started doing fuel pump upgrades, canisters along with fuel lines. Really a nice kit. And he's got some other stuff that he offers. So Juan Ramirez, that's his name. If you see him on the Facebook groups, you can tell him that I sent you, or at the very least, check his stuff out, especially if you're looking for a wiring harness or anything else that he does. I highly recommend. Highly recommend. Anyways, that's the update. Hopefully the next update and next video will be me driving this thing, because it needs driven. It needs driven. And the other thing I did over here is I washed out the engine bay. Got it power washed. It's relatively clean. I'm going to do a little bit of detail work and probably a little bit of, touch-up paint. And then it's pretty much going to be time to drop an engine and the new transmission down inside this thing. So, believe it or not, lots of progress here. But that is it for this little Syndology 101 update. And I'm actually wearing a Syndology shirt. Look at that. Look at that. Syndology shirt. Got a bunch of those, actually. They never sold. Anyways, that's it. I'll catch you guys on the next one.